I am going to market and follow up with everyone that happens to comment or like what I put out today, because I have my eyes on the end game, which is to set up an appointment, which is to set up and eventually get an escrow and a closing. All right. Thank you for joining me for another episode of Mindset Mastery. Who do we have joining us today, Brennan? Let's scroll all the way up. Let's see who's with us. Rudy, good morning to you. Jessica, Bernadette, Claudia, and let's see. I see Yosana here. Bobby, Miriam, Bridget. Thank you all for joining me today. And I have a short but very effective Mindset Mastery. And there's just things that it seems like my mind just happens to just reset, especially coming back even from a short trip. We went out this weekend to Disneyland, and it was one of these trips that we wanted to have right before my daughter started school. We got back yesterday afternoon, and my daughter has to go to school today as her first day at a new high school. And she's been a little sheltered, right? And she went to a smaller private school, and now she's going to a 6A school. So it's going to be one of these big steps for her. So she was a little nervous, and I'm just very happy for her and for her wanting to go to this school, getting in, and now, starting her first day. But we wanted to squeeze this in. We didn't get to do much this summer just because we had just a lot of other things going on that we just decided, hey, we're going to take a trip later on this year. But we wanted to squeeze that in. So we went to Disneyland for a few days. And just like anything, right? It's fun. My whole goal was to really visualize, was to really just put myself in a place of, just being as patient as I can. Being patient, being in the moment, being connected, but yet allowing them to do what they wanted, right? And part of their strategy, they're getting older now, right? They're 18 and 14, was they wanted to go to the park by themselves. So they had a couple family members go with them, and they had a blast. The second day, their tune changed a little bit. They wanted to spend time with mom and dad. So at first I was apprehensive because the whole time they were telling us, hey, you're going to go to the park. We're going to go to the park, and you guys can hang out in the hotel, get some work done, or just hang out, not really have all this pressure that we feel on a daily basis. So the second day when they wanted us to go, at first I was like, I really don't want to, right? I really don't. So I was apprehensive. I didn't want to disappoint. I was a little apprehensive. But then we got to the park, and I paid the admission, and we went in. And I got to tell you, I felt so much pride just having my girls just wanting to be close to both Carla and myself. Just wanted to hold my hand, or she had, my eldest daughter had her arm around my shoulder, and very proud of just having her family there with her. So it was one of these things where I was aware of the moment. I needed to be aware of the situation so I can make the best out of it. And I think with anything we want to create in this life, it has to start with a foundation of awareness, not just simply going through the motions or just simply showing up to the office or going through the 12-week target book, but it really is about visualizing what it is that you want today. But seeing it to a point where it's not just doesn't become a process of putting a vision board together, but truly feeling it, of what it is, what's going to constitute a win today, what's going to constitute a fulfillment for you for the day, so that you're not overwhelmed by the things that may come up to try to interrupt that progression. And understand that with every win there is a loss attached to it. With every step forward, there's another hand in it trying to pull you back. It's part of the process where one doesn't come free without the other. And part of this process, what I've realized is that, when we get to this place where we feel overwhelmed, and that's exactly how I felt this morning. When I woke up this morning, my alarm goes off like it typically does, 4:00 in the morning. I have to get to the gym at 5:00. It was just this sudden sense of being overwhelmed. So I was in this place of presence. And then all of a sudden, it seems like I reset like a Groundhog Day the following morning, and I'm feeling overwhelmed, right? Because I was gone out of the office 4 days. I got so much to do. I have a flat tire. I'm literally riding around with a bolt inside my tire, right? They had to special order it last week. So I'm thinking I have to go do that. I have Mindset Mastery. I have another coaching call. I have all these things that I didn't necessarily complete last week. So I'm just overwhelmed and making me almost freeze and not appreciate the day. not appreciate the fact that I'm in my bed, I'm in my house. It's my daughter's first day of school. I just need to be clear about what I want. So it's this feeling, the sensation of feeling overwhelmed. It's a distraction to progress, to visualize and progress towards that vision. It's a way for you to essentially freeze and feel like you are incapable of just simply getting things done. And that's exactly where I was at. And I remember, it's one of the things that Carla and I constantly talk about. It's like, hey, change your attitude towards it. Like, be aware that you're in this place of scarcity. Be aware that you're in this place of fear and negativity, because that's exactly what it is. Allowing ourselves to continue to dive into what else may come our way is just not living in the present. It's thinking too much about the future or thinking about too much in the past. We're not right here, right now. So I caught myself. I'm like, I need to be aware of this. I'm up. I'm going to go put a deposit towards my body. I'm in a position where I'm trying to create something long term. I'm aware that doing this every day is going to put me in a position of power. Like, be here now. Not what might happen, not everything that I have to do, just be here now. And I started just bringing all the positivity to the moment, like right now, and saying, hey, no, listen, this is great. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have extreme patience today. I'm going to go into the gym and just be dialed in. I am putting a deposit towards something much greater. I don't know how far I'm going to take this, but this is what my mind and my soul and my spirit is telling me that I have to do. Calm your mind. Listen to this music as you're brushing your teeth and getting ready. Like, appreciate everything about this life. When you get home, make sure to tell your daughters that you love them. Make sure that you're in a present state of mind, that you're not in this place of running, running away from exactly where I need to go with everything that's ahead of me. It's one of these things where I have the capacity, I have the abilities, I have the mind. I've been conditioning myself for years to be exactly here. And this is where I had to combat it. It's like going to war first thing in the morning. It's a constant battle. It's not the battle against other people or other comments. It's the battle of what we tell ourselves. And I had this conversation this morning where we get so triggered sometimes by what people tell us, right? And then we turn it back on them, acting like victims, like, you didn't believe in me. You didn't believe in me, or you're very negative in my life, when all they simply said was something that we already tell ourselves, right? If we're constantly telling ourselves we're tired and somebody says, you look tired, it's like, oh my gosh, they're right. Or it's like you feel overworked or feel like things are not going to turn for you. Somebody else mentions that, and all of a sudden we make it fact. But the reality is this, guys, like, we have control about how we proceed by simply being aware of our attitude towards it. And this is where we have to catch ourselves. So I read something last week on our 12-week target training, and it was a phenomenal training. I had a packed house, so much great feedback. And I read this article and I shared exactly what it stated. So I'm going to go ahead and read this to you. And it says, a man who is broke goes to sleep thinking and accepting that tomorrow he will wake up broke again. A man who is broke goes to sleep thinking and accepting that tomorrow he will wake up broke again. In his consciousness, only lack of money exists. Therefore, this is what he materializes in the quantum field, in the reality. Things are tough. I don't have any escrows. I don't know if I'll ever get any. It's like you'll accept more of that versus I am going to set up an appointment today. I am going to market and follow up with everyone that happens to comment or like what I put out today, because I have my eyes on the end game, which is to set up an appointment, which is to set up and eventually get an escrow and a closing. And this is the type of thing we have to stop ourselves and be aware of where it is that we're telling ourselves things that are not in alignment with the bigger picture. I'm tired. I'm overweight. I'm this, I'm that. It's like you're going to get more of that. How about I want to get fit? I feel really good. I'm going to dominate the day. These are all things that you're affirming, but also declaring, knowing that you're going to take action towards those things. So I simply turned it from I'm tired, I'm overwhelmed. So I'm like, I'm up. I'm making deposits towards my future. I'm going to go kill it today. And it was simply a decision of where I wanted to direct my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. It's a direction, but that comes all the way back to the awareness. And I'm a big believer in visualizing what it is that you want. I'm a big believer in not dwelling on the things that I don't want. And that, again, it all stems from your awareness and being able to shift that. We don't have to be in that place of lack. And if we are there, I know it's how difficult it is to try to pivot and move towards something positive. If all around you is negative, right? The bank account is low. There's no business in sight. Maybe you're fighting with your spouse. You've gained a few pounds. It's tough. I get it. But as opposed to telling you there's one more thing I can't figure out, it's like, okay, where can I go that will add a positive step towards what I do want? Maybe I won't, put so much sugar and milk in my coffee this morning. Maybe I'll try and just, go all the way black. And maybe that's a step that you needed so you won't beat yourself up and self-deprecate. Self-deprecate where it comes to a point where you're just, inviting this mediocrity. It's knowing where you're at the moment and then stopping it. And I know how hard that is to stop the momentum of negativity. It's very difficult. But it's like, shift your mind. How can I turn this around? I'm not tired. I'm not. It's like my body's built for this. I've conditioned myself for this. I am elite in my game. I'm elite in my age group. I'm going to continue to put the deposits moving forward. This is where things occur. Because if you go to sleep broke, you're going to wake up broke. You're going to expect to be broke. If you go to sleep feeling tired, you're going to wake up tired and expect to be tired. It's so simple, right? And I said it last week. The complexity of this entire process is the simplicity of it all. It's so simple. We want to make it more difficult than what it really is. We can shift our mindsets. We can shift our energy by the direction that we give our brain. Your reality only materializes when you observe it. Awareness. Your reality only materializes when you observe it. And not just observe it, but truly feel it. This is why just repeating affirmations and not actually resonating with them makes no difference. You must deliberately introduce the consciousness of your future in order to bring it into your reality. This is an important step. And I remember, and think back to whenever you truly wanted something. Maybe it was a relationship. Maybe it was seeing something bigger when you were dating your husband or your wife. You saw something bigger. You visualized it. You saw yourself, hanging out and having kids and building a life together. Like it's more than just declaring it. It's more than just a visualization. It's actually being there, right? You actually felt it. All the sensories were on high alert. Like you heard the noises around, maybe the baby crying or the baby calling you mommy and daddy for the first time. Like you really put yourself in a place where now you've magnified it and you're not living it. And many times we don't appreciate it, right? Or we don't see the correlation of what it actually looked to create it. I remember I wanted this car so bad. My first Porsche, I saw it for the first time. And I actually downloaded the picture on my phone. It had big 22-inch rims, the custom wheels. It was white, a really dark tint. It was lowered. It had like all these customizations. And at that moment, I didn't have enough money to even come up with a down payment, but I visualized it on a daily basis. And I know it's just a materialistic thing, but this is how it begins because it's a conditioning process. If I can do this for something visual like a car or a house, I wonder what I can do for my marriage. I wonder what I can do for my finances, my business. I need to be able to be in that place where I'm visualizing it consistently and not being overwhelmed by the negativity where it distracts me from the vision and the path I must go on. And it's a visualization. And we've all proven it. We've all proven it. In the house you're in right now, you visualized it. You saw yourself walking through the hallways. Your family hanging out in the living room, watching TV together, watching a movie together, cooking in the kitchen. We all saw this, but we don't correlate that. We can create this for our business at a much higher level. And then when we achieve it, it's not like we stop there. That's a step towards complacency. It's like, what's the next step? And it's not necessarily to show off, but to realize that this is a world of abundance. We don't have to be held back by what it may cost. It's like, okay, who do I have to become so it doesn't become a problem? I visualized the house I lived in. And every house, and even this building, like you see all the visuals that we had at the other office, right? I had poster boards of what it was going to look like, down to the furniture piece. But every day I saw myself walking through the hallways, walking into this very studio, having my staff having everything lined up for me, the perfect lighting, the perfect environment. I knew how I was going to feel as soon as I walked into the doors. I felt this pride and this energy from other people in the same building. I visualized it well over a year, 2 years, 5 years. My job wasn't to try to figure out when it was going to happen. I just needed to take the right steps towards that vision. And every day I worked on my skill sets and my mindsets. I didn't know how this was going to come together. I didn't have the money to even put into the furniture. Only to realize that if you do the right things over time, with the right vision, right? And I said it last week, the mission is the vision. Regardless of what's happening, how can you redirect your mind to look at what you want? Because you're going to be distracted at every step. Someone's going to want to trip you up. There's going to be a problem that wants you to make you fall flat on your face. It's part of the process. And today you will face many of these issues. But can you keep your eyes on the vision? Because ultimately that is the mission. So walking into this building, I've been here 1,000 times before I walked into it the first time. All my sensories were on high alert. I knew what it was going to sound like, how it was going to smell like, how I was going to feel. Energetically, I was already here, the same way I felt about my car, my houses, my life, my wife, my kids. And we can't stop there. What's next? So if you have this vision of what you want to create, like really feel it, but you got to declare it on a daily basis. Don't just say it once and forget it. Out of sight, out of mind. Say it, believe it, feel it, smell it, hear it. All these aspects, and it goes all the way down to today. What are you going to create today? How much patience are you going to have for your kids today? Are you going to have the time to ask them, how was your first day of school? What did you learn today? What was the best part of your day, baby? What was the number one thing that happened today? What was the funniest thing you experienced today? Ask better questions, not just, hey, how'd it go? Okay, great. Because you know how they're going to respond. Oh, it went good. All right, awesome. What was the best part of it? Who's your favorite teacher? Did you make any friends today? What did you guys talk about? And sometimes we have to direct ourselves, right? Because we are distracted. We're business owners. We probably have the Binzer on our mind. We have the appraisal issue on our mind. We have, a contract we're writing up. We're in the middle of negotiations. The deal's going to fall apart. It's hard to be in this place of presence. But this presence will catapult you to another level, to the next level. Have you ever noticed that, right? Where somebody's kind of is there and all of a sudden they catapult is because they have this awareness of the present, being appreciative of the here and the now, but also have a vision of where they want to go and how they can magnify what they have, the here and the now. We're all a testament to that. We just have to have that presence again, that I can't go to sleep feeling broke, thinking and accepting I'm going to be broke, and I wake up the next morning expecting that as well. No, I'm going to change that. And I change that not by simply affirming it, but declaring it. Because declaration means that you're going to take action towards that vision. It's not just going to fall in your lap. It's not. Living from the past by the aid of your memory and your five senses will change nothing because they will continue to give you the same operating patterns. Hence, you keep on materializing the same reality. Here's what I love about this. Well, let me read this again so that we all get it, okay? I think we're all in the same place right here energetically. I think we need this. We're going to create big things for this year. We've done the mid-year review. We've done the 12-week target book training. We know what we want. We're going to actually achieve it. It says, living from the past by the aid of your memory and your five senses will change nothing because they will continue to give you the same operating patterns. Hence, you keep on materializing the same reality. Here's where the shift occurs. Dwell in the future as though it is a present fact. That was by Dr. Joe Dispenza. And he says, dwell in the future as though it is a present fact. We're so sometimes caught up with our past, right? As a matter of fact, what we do is we replay that. We feel it all over again. How our heart was broken, about how they made us feel, about how angry and frustrated. We keep on replaying that, yet expecting a brighter future. Like this is telling us, hey, have as much, if not more conviction about the future than you do about your past. Like, what does that look like? Feel it. See it. Like, involve all your five sensories into it. Because guess what? Our past wants to hold us back. Our past got a grip on us. And we get triggered over and over and over again. It's like, okay, I want to dwell in the future now. What does that look like by the end of the year? What does my bank account look like? How does my Christmas look like? How is it going to make me feel to celebrate with confidence, knowing that 2024 is going to be a breakout year because I'm doing all the hard work right now? Imagine that. Being with your family. Toasting, but with certainty and confidence, not out of despair and frustration. Toasting to the new year like this is only the beginning. And we have that ability, but it starts right now. Seeing the right things and doing the right things on a daily basis. I want to read one thing here for you. The difference between a affirmation and a declaration. One of the biggest changes that I made to the 12-week target book is at the very top, we put the I am declarations. I used to say the I am affirmations. And even though it's a menial change, it really just shifted my mind. It shifted everything about how I am going to visualize my day, right? Just like I did yesterday, setting up my plan for the week. And if you haven't done that, I would encourage you to do that now. All right? I did that last night, where I'll outline what I was going to accomplish this week. I have a weekly target that I'm going to go after, okay? And then I also summarized how I did last week. I wasn't 100%. I wasn't all the way dialed in, but I'm seeing it. I know exactly where I need to go this week. So if you haven't done this, start there, right? Because the last thing we want to do is, I don't know what to do. The last thing we want to say is, I don't know how to do it. It's like, just go here and allow your mind to give you the instructions of what steps to take next. But affirmations, these are statements about what we believe to be true in relation to ourselves. Affirmations are typically positive assertions designed to bolster self-esteem and confidence, right? Affirmations, I am a good marketer. It's supposed to like add some self-esteem. I am a money-making machine. I am powerful. I am a leader. We get all that. I think we all are those things. But we got to take it a step further. And this is where I made the shift from affirmation to declaration. Declarations are more potent as they are just not statements of belief, but commitments to take action. See the difference there? And that's one of the things that I love about John Assaraf. Okay, he was featured on this movie called The Secret. We've all seen that, right? Where the whole movie, it's all about visualizing And if you think you could move into a mansion, you'll get it. You just got to visualize it every day. He's like, hey, okay, cool. You guys forgot one important step here. And that is to take a step in that direction. You just can't sit there meditating on it every day and expecting it to appear in your life. We have to declare it. We have to make sure the energetic fields, right? That everything lines up for you to be able to see the opportunity, because it's all based on opportunity. So declarations are more potent as they are not just statements of belief, but commitments to take action. They are often used to announce a decision or intention. It means serious stuff. It means like you're not holding back. There's going to be action taken. When you declare war, it's because there's action being taken. It's not a proxy war. It's not a warning. It's a declaration of. And we have a war that we have to fight in our minds on a daily basis, and we have to declare against it. We have to declare against the mediocrity and the complacency. We have to declare that we're not going to be thrown off our game by the temptations of our lives. It's a declaration that you're going to fight, that you're going to battle, that you're not going to stop. It's not an affirmation. It's a declaration of change, of action. Declarations are forward-looking, action-oriented, and carry a sense of commitment and determination, no matter what. They can generate a stronger response because they tap into our sense of agency. What does that mean? Tap into our sense of agency and responsibility. Tap into ourselves, our experiences, our wisdom, our confidence, our certainty, our repetition, our convictions. That's what agency is. We're not going to sit here and simply affirm, put affirmations of who we are. You're great. You're a great leader. You're a great communicator. But are you ready to fight? Are you ready to battle the negativity that'll seep in as soon as we're done with this mindset mastery? As you get triggered by social media, as you see another agent putting another deal into escrow, asking yourself, is it ever going to happen to me? Or do you have the conviction within to battle that thought and say, good for them? Now it's my turn. I'm more intentional about following up. I'm going to make this video for me. Regardless of how many views, regardless of how many likes, this is a conviction within. I promise you, you will face your battle as soon as we're done. What battle is it? Being aware of what it is and not allowing it to bring you down along with it to this pit. This pit of scarcity and jealousy and frustration and misery. What do we have up there? Like the old shirt say, affirmations are great, but at some point you have to do the work. That's it. We've always had that same belief, right, Isaiah? It's like, okay, affirmations are great, but we got to take action towards it. Don't stop yourself with these limiting beliefs of, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to create a video. Yes, you do. I don't know what this means. Yes, you do. I don't know this loan program. I don't know how to get my client to make an offer. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Quit telling yourself you don't, because you'll get more of that. Quit telling yourself you're tired. Quit telling yourself you'll never get it. Declare that you will. Take the action towards. Allow your mind to guide you. Allow your soul and your spirit to guide you. We got frameworks for you to use as a template. Don't be robotic about it. Be yourself around it. But you know what the mission is. You know what it is. When you get a prospect, you got to get you got to be able to set the appointment and then get a commitment from them through a pre-qual or a listing agreement. Then you put them into escrow. You know the routine. Don't overcomplicate it. The complexity, it's in the simplicity. It's so simple. Don't overcomplicate this. It's like your t-shirt says, yes, you and Isaiah were on the same page. Declarations is about action. Declarations is about what you're going to do today. Guys, I want to thank you for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. Take some time, take 2 minutes to fill out the top portion of your daily target. Today is Monday. Just commit to that today. Commit to that today. It's a simple process. Like, I love it. I changed my mind. You should have seen me this morning. I was riddled with just being overwhelmed with negativity. I really was. I forgot how powerful I am. I forgot all the reps that I've taken and made. This is nothing. I just have to get to work. This is one thing that I've checked off. I've won already. I'm going to get everything taken care of, everything that was overwhelming me and made me believe that I was incapable of just making sure that it was completed. I just checked a few things off already, and I'm on to the next. Guys, thank you again for joining me for this episode of Mindset Mastery. Have a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now. Thank you for joining us for this episode of Badass Agents Podcast, brought to you by AZ & Associates and Do the Work Coaching and Consulting. You can watch this and other episodes by subscribing to our channel on YouTube or by visiting us directly at badassagents.com. And of course, you can listen to this episode and many others on your preferred podcast provider.